Hello and welcome to Daily English Stories and Podcasts. I'm really happy you're here today. This channel is a quiet place where you can slow down, relax, and learn English naturally through simple but meaningful stories. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let me tell you a story from my life. My first job is something I still remember very clearly. Even now, after many years, I can close my eyes and see those moments again. It was not a dream job, and it was not something special or exciting at first. But it quietly changed the way I saw myself, and it helped me understand what it means to grow up. At that time, I was 20 years old and living with my parents. My life was safe and comfortable. Every day felt almost the same. I woke up late, ate meals at home, and spent a lot of time thinking about what I wanted to do in the future. I wanted to be independent, but I did not know how to start. I wanted to feel useful, and I wanted to earn my own money, even if it was not much. Because of these thoughts, I decided that it was time to find my first job. One afternoon, while I was walking alone on my street, I noticed a small coffee shop near my house. I had passed this shop many times before, but that day felt different. There was a handwritten sign on the door. It was simple, and it said, "We are hiring." I stopped walking and stood there quietly. My heart started to beat faster, and many thoughts rushed into my mind. I told myself that I had no experience, that I was too shy, and that I might fail. I was afraid of hearing the word no. But then I thought about my future, and I asked myself a simple question. What will happen if I never try? After taking a deep breath, I opened the door and walked inside. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air, and the shop felt warm and peaceful. Soft music played in the background, and everything seemed calm. Behind the counter stood a woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Her name was Anna. She looked at me and listened carefully while I spoke. She asked me a few simple questions about myself and my schedule. I answered honestly, even though my voice was a little shaky. Before I left the shop, she smiled and said, "You can start next Monday." I could not believe what I had just heard. I thanked her and walked home with a strange feeling in my chest. That night I could not sleep well because my mind was full of excitement, fear, and hope. On my first day of work, I woke up earlier than usual. The world outside was still quiet, and my house was peaceful because my family was sleeping. While getting dressed, my hands were shaking slightly. I looked at myself in the mirror and did not see a confident person. But I whispered softly, "Just do your best." Then I left the house and started walking toward the coffee shop. The street looked the same as always, but I felt different inside. People walked past me with serious faces, and I wondered what kind of jobs they had and what worries they carried with them every day. When I arrived at the coffee shop, Anna was already there. She welcomed me warmly and spoke to me in a calm and friendly way. She showed me around the shop and explained my tasks slowly. She never made me feel uncomfortable when I asked questions, and that helped me feel more relaxed. While she was teaching me how to use the coffee machine, I tried my best to remember every small detail. I knew I would make mistakes, but I also wanted to learn. In the morning, the shop was quiet and peaceful. There were not many customers. I cleaned the tables, washed the cups, and watched the steam rise from the hot coffee. The smell of coffee filled the room and made me feel calm. Even though everything felt gentle, I stayed focused because I did not want to do something wrong. Every small task felt important to me. Later that morning, a customer came in and ordered a black coffee with no sugar. I nodded confidently, but inside, I felt nervous again. While my hands were working, my mind was racing. I wanted to do everything perfectly, and I gave him the cup. Everything seemed fine. But a few minutes later, he came back to the counter. My heart dropped because I realized that I had made a mistake. I had added sugar to his coffee. My face felt hot as I apologized and waited for his reaction. Instead of getting angry, he smiled and said, "It's okay." I remember my first job too. His words surprised me and made me feel lighter. That moment taught me that people can be kinder than we expect. Around lunchtime, the cafe suddenly became busy. Customers came in one after another, and the noise grew louder. People talked, laughed, and ordered quickly. While I was moving faster, my feet started to hurt, and my body felt tired. Even though the work was hard, I did not want to give up. I felt proud because I was learning how to handle pressure and responsibility for the first time in my life. During my short break, I sat by the window with a cup of tea. I watched people rushing past the shop. Some looked happy, some looked stressed, and some looked lost. While I was sitting there, I realized something important. Everyone is dealing with their own problems, and everyone is learning how to live. I was not alone in my fear or my struggle. When the day finally ended, the cafe became quiet again. I cleaned the counter one last time and took off my apron. Before I left, Anna looked at me and said, "You did well today. You didn't give up." Those simple words meant more to me than she probably knew. As I walked home, the sky was filled with soft orange and pink colors. I felt tired, but my heart felt full. I felt stronger than I had felt in the morning, not because the day was perfect, but because I faced it and kept going. That night, I slept deeply. My first job taught me that growth does not always come in big or dramatic moments. Sometimes it comes quietly in small coffee shops on ordinary days, when we choose to take one small step forward instead of staying where we are. Thank you for listening to Daily English Stories and Podcasts. If you enjoyed this story, please follow the channel and come back tomorrow for another gentle English story. One story a day is enough to help your English grow slowly and naturally. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.